It is red lip season, no doubt. I'm actually a little bit late on this. I've been wanting to get you guys this video for a while, and it's just been so busy and I've had so much to film, but we're going to talk about it today. How to rock the red lips this holiday season and not be afraid. I'm going to give you all my best tips I can think of for how to wear gorgeous red lips for the holidays. Now, I know that I'm just like a little bit behind on this because when I'm filming, it's like right before the week of Christmas. So I think that a lot of your holiday parties are starting to die down now. We just had my husband's work party, so they're starting to peter out. So I should have gotten this video to you weeks in advance so you have time to practice your red lips. But I realized, you know what? We still have New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, time for lots of parties there. We have Super Bowl Sunday, like towards the end of January, right? And we have Valentine's Day in February. So red lip season is here to stay for a little while. So this is still going to be relevant. Let's get started talking about all of my tips and tricks. It is sometimes a little intimidating to wear a big, bold red lip. I want to share like everything I can think of from the right colors within reds, staying power, matte versus gloss. You know, if you have lots of fine lines and wrinkles you want to hide, but at the same time have it long wearing, trying to find that right balance, we're going to cover it all. So if all of this interests you and you want to learn you some red lips tips, then stick around and we're going to dive right on into it. All right, guys, welcome. If you're new here, I'm Cher. I cover a lot of different things here. I definitely cover a lot of different beauty boxes. That's one of the things I'm known here for. I do the spoilers, unboxings, reviews, and try-ons, and a lot of the popular ones, like specialty ones, mystery boxes, beauty subscriptions, lifestyle subscriptions, you name it. But I'm also a freelance makeup artist. I do a lot of weddings on the side. And so I love and have such a passion for talking about, you know, makeup artist tips, basically giving you my best tips for what to do with all of those beauty boxes we talk about, the products that we get in them. It's not just about what products we're getting, it's also how to use them. So today we're going to be talking about how to use all those red lipsticks that you've got in your boxes. So I'm going to start kind of at the beginning, go all the way to lip prep tips, and then we will move on to the actual makeup itself. So let me get into bare lips here for you and we'll get started. All right, so we're going to get started with step one, and that is the appropriate skincare. I mean, I do have to touch on this part because it's obviously the most overlooked part, and that is prepping the lips for the makeup. We all want to just go straight to the makeup, I know, but it's of course important to take care of your lips. The more that you keep them hydrated, balm up those lips, get them all moistened so that the less lip lines show through, the better. So in an ideal world, you would have been exfoliating your lips on a regular basis. You would be treating and going to bed each night with nice treated lips as well, so that you have a good lip routine. Not something that I have always remembered, but as I've gotten older and I have these little lips with lines in them now, I do everything I can to try to preserve what I do have as long as possible. So exfoliants, even like a fun little sugar scrub. This is Delish Cosmetics. I can't remember what box I got it in, but I'm just going to demonstrate. You know, you really want to use like a spatula in these, because if you go putting your fingers in it, you've introduced germs. So then it's not going to last you as long. All right, I've exfoliated. I've gotten them in good shape. I'm going to follow behind with a little lip treatment. This is just what I do every night before bed, right before bed. Same as where we want lotions and moisturizers on the rest of our face, we also want the same with our lips. Always be treating them. I'm just using my P. Louise little Protect Your Pout lip treatment here. I think it's lemon flavor here. So I'm just doing that to prep them, get them ready. Now what I usually do with like my brides is I would kind of start off in the beginning. I usually do like a little skincare treatment on all of them. And then when it comes time for the makeup, They've already been sitting with their treatments in their kind of pre-skincare routine on their wedding day. We've been pampering them. And so their lips are just nice and moist and already ready. But before I put on the makeup, I will apply some kind of little plumper, like a clear plumper gloss. And one of my favorites is from City Lips. This is fantastic. Like the two that I love probably the most would be Lawless and City Lips for just going ahead and kind of plumping them up. So I'm going to do that, but after we have gotten all this hydration on the lips, we're going to blot at them. So you're going to be like, what? Why did you do all of that just to follow up with blotting? But really, it's just because I want it to start treating my lips ahead of time, absorbing down in there, absorbing into the fine lines and wrinkles. Okay, so I've been letting them sit for a few minutes. I'm letting all of that moisture really seep down into and absorb and get everything just so hydrated, very plumped up. But here's the problem. If you have these very slippery, wet lips, it's gonna be hard to apply lipstick to, especially lipstick that's gonna stay. So after all that, I'm going to blot a little bit. Okay? And what I'm going to do is, they still feel good, but they're just, I've removed like the big coat of like oil and moisture on the top. Now, I'm going to come in and I'm going to put just a tad bit of translucent powder. Now, this is where a powder puff actually comes so in handy. Really kind of helps you apply on to the lips. So I have put down a little bit of translucent powder, just a little bit. This is going to first set everything. Gonna make the lip color stay on longer. Not all of you have the same lipstick that I do. I'm gonna tell you about the lipstick that I love. It has the most incredible staying power. And so that's why we're using this today. But if you don't have magic lipstick that stays on forever, these are just some extra trips to try to really prolong how long the lips last. Okay, now let's start talking about our colors. We're going to talk tones of the lipsticks and lip colors really quickly. We always talk about skin tones and like which shades work better for certain skin tones. Now, I am a neutral skin tone, so I can go either way. There are some lipsticks that are going to be more on the warm tone side. For example, this one right here. This is NARS, and this is called Mischievous. I absolutely love this color, and on me, it's like va va voom. But you see how it almost has a slight, like it could almost go to orange. It's just, it's a much warmer tone. So if you are a cool skin tone, this might not quite go on you quite as well. There are some tricks though, where you could still wear warmer shades if you wanted, but you kind of have to adjust the rest of your makeup that way to kind of like eliminate the contrast. But for the most part, for probably the most flattering color that you would want to choose of red, you would want more of a cooler tone one. So the one that I'm going to be using today is the Westman Atelier. Love this so much. And so I don't know if you can tell the difference. This one is a little bit more, it's more towards the blue toned reds. So this is going to be better for your cool tone people. So getting your colors right from the start is kind of what we're going for. So can you see the difference between these two red colors? So in general, you're going to be looking for like the skin tone for you within these red shades. Now, I'm neutral, so I can go with either of these. So how I usually decide which color I'm going to wear, if I'm going to go more on the warm side or on the cooler side, I just base it on what the rest of my makeup's doing, what I'm wearing. You know, if I have on really cool tone colors in my outfit, you know, I'm probably not going to go with a warm, and vice versa. Now, if I have black or white, it just kind of depends on what I'm feeling that day. But so I have on gold on my eyes. So we're wanting to probably go a little bit warmer for this look. Like compare that red up against my gold versus cool tone up against my gold. But I will say that when I pull out the cool tone, it almost turns my eyes a little more bronzy and like rustier. and then it kind of brings out different shades on me. So I am not really, I'm probably still going to pick my Westman Atelier, even though it's going to be a cooler, more purple tone red. And I'm wearing fairly warm with the gold here. I have another really cool way to figure out the perfect red color for you. But it involves downloading an app if you don't already have it. It involves like doing some things online. Now for me, I have a ton of different apps because I do, video editing. I create thumbnails for all my YouTube. Created this thumbnail. So for me, it's no big deal. I already have these apps. But for you, you can go pick one of these photo apps, photo editing apps. A lot of them are free. PicMonkey, Canva is what I use a lot for like my graphics. Even like picture collage. There's just a little simple photo collage app might have this built into it. And it's where you can change colors on your text and on different features, whatever you're drawing, or on pictures even. And you can go in and there's a whole color wheel in there. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to pick like, a color or the tone, your tone, and try to match it the best you can. Like take a picture of yourself, match that tone exactly. Take like the color of your lips or like your skin tone around it. And, pick whatever color matches that. Open it up to where you see all of the rest of the colors in the full spectrum. Follow the line, and then you're going to go to another color section. You're going to choose like the shades of red. So you're going to go into where it's all red, but you're going to keep the same row of what your complexion is and take it all the way across till you find the red area. And if you stay constant in that red area, it's going to take you to your perfect red that matches you and it goes with your skin tone. And you can overlay it on your lips too in the picture and see it beforehand and pick out that shade. Now, you're not always going to be able to match it to whatever the shade is, but it might give you a color idea where you can kind of try to match it that way. They usually give you like a Pantone color that it like equals, and sometimes you can even find it in your lipstick shades, the actual same match in the description. So that is very advanced, but a really cool little tool for finding the right red color for you if you're that much of a nerd like me and you want to just go play with it. All right, so what we're going to start off doing is with a red lip. This is where it gets so messy. The red lip, it's definitely more imperative that you're perfect with it. And so with red, bright red on the lips, every tiny little mistake stands out. Absolutely. So that is one thing that makes it scary, I know. And then it also is like if you start getting smudges from your red, you're going to see that more too than you would if you had on a neutral. If I was wearing a very neutral lip color and I happened to like smear it onto my face over here a little more, it's not going to stand out so much. But red is going to stand out like a sore thumb. That's part of why, even though I'm not really a liquid lipstick kind of girl, if I wear liquid lipstick, it's usually going to be in a red or darker shade like that because it doesn't smudge like my glossy ones and my more satiny finishes do. So with your perfect red lip, I honestly would not opt as much for the creamy, blendy, like moisturizing ones. Obviously, the upside in those are that they don't show off as many fine lines and wrinkles as the more drying liquid lipsticks and mattes do, or lip stains even. However, it's going to be a mess. It's not going to last. It's going to smudge everywhere. It's harder for redder lips. So I recommend one of two options for handling this. One is going to be use a liquid lipstick first. Put the liquid lipstick stain down so that that's not budging and not smudging. Then after you've put down a liquid lip, if you want some gloss and you want to not highlight so many wrinkles in the lips, you can come back over it with a gloss or a more creamy finish after that. So that's one option for how to handle the best of both worlds. The second option is use your lip liner and put that on most of your lip first, and then come back in with the creamier type products. The reason I recommend more of your lip liner to kind of cover your lips is because the wax that's in here is it's longer lasting. It's a different type of formula than what is in a typical bullet lipstick. So this actually stays on longer. It just has better staying power. And it's also a little easier to control because it's more precise. So I am going to use that as my preference over the liquid liner because I know my dry lips and I don't tend to love how it feels with a liquid liner. Same goes for a lip stain. You could get a really, really staying power lip stain, but again, with lip stains, I tend to find those very drying too. So, but the key to with lining, you need to pick the right color in your liner also. You can go with a little bit darker shade if you want than your lip color, or the same if you want. A darker one is going to give it that kind of 3D depth to kind of overline the lips and all of that. Now, sometimes, especially if I'm going more for a cool tone color, I will use a dark brown color. Even your brow pencil could serve as a lip liner, but it depends on the shade of the lipstick bullet that I'm using. Like I just kind of try to match it to my lipstick the best I can. Or if nowadays that we are getting these more blurred lips are kind of trending, but I haven't seen the blurred lips as much in a dark or deep red as I have in like the pink tones. But it just kind of depends on what look you're going for. You can either do your overlined lips where you have darker liner or the same color, or you can go with a lighter color and blur it out and do more of a blur. But that's a little harder working with red lip shades. I will caution you on that. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to map out my lips. I'm using a ColourPop lippy pencil. It's red. Does it tell us the actual name? Overtime. I think that's the name of this one. All right. I overline a little bit, but here's the secret with overlining. You do not want to overline on the corners of the mouth, but when it comes to red lips, you do actually kind of want them to connect. So I'll first do my overlining in the center areas and then kind of bring it down to the normal shape of my lips on the sides. But when it gets to the sides, we'll get to that in a moment. If you don't connect them, it is a little weird with red lipstick, but you don't want to overline on the sides here or you're going to get red clown makeup, okay? All right, so I'm going to first start off here along the Cupid's bow. Okay, and this is definitely where you want a very patient, steady, slow hand. Now, I'm going along my natural line, but I am going up just the teeniest bit so that I can have full overlined lips a little bit. Then I'm going to do the bottom. I'm going to close my mouth for this so that I can see the natural curve better, and it's going to keep you from connecting the sides yet. So we're going to work on this real quick. All right, so see how they're not really connecting. We put more of the fullness towards the middle and like overline more on the middle. And I'm going totally like onto my skin here underneath. So I'm really overlining. I am going to open them now and connect, but really carefully connect further in. All right, so don't worry if it's all crooked, because what we're going to do in the very end is we're going to come back and clean that all up with concealer. Now, I'm going to go most of the way into my lips with this, and then you're going to be like, wait, why did you do all that work just to rub it off. You're gonna see in a minute. All right, so I just covered most of my lip in just the lip pencil. Another fabulous product that's good for this is Nude Sticks, because their lip crayons are more like you can use them as a lip liner, but also like lip color too. All right. I love this shade, by the way. And now, after I did all that work, here's what we're going to do. We are going to blot it. Okay? Now, even though I've blotted it, you can see a lot of it is still left. So your good pencil is working and lasting longer. And then I'm going to set that as well. We're going to come back in with our powder puff. Coat over that, and then we're going to come back and layer it again. This is going to give you a good layer underneath that is going to give you staying powder. You're going to have the base that's going to stay the whole night. Okay, so at this point, I could do a little less covering the whole lip. So it's not just a single like skinny line, you know, around. We do a little bit more. And then I'm even going to kind of blend that into my lips a little bit. And then now we're going to go on top of that with whatever bullet lipstick I want to use, and if I want to use gloss at all. So now I'm going to come in with my Westman Atelier. Now I will tell you guys, this lipstick doesn't budge, and you probably don't even have to do those other steps underneath it. But I'm just giving you tips for red lipstick in general. Most other red lipsticks are not this powerful. You can go ahead and put it directly on, but you're gonna have a lot more control if you apply it with a brush, honestly. Or like what I'll do is I'll go ahead and spread it on in the middle sections that are not too close to the edges with the bullet itself, so you get that good pigmentation on. And then when I get out to the edges, I might use a brush more. Is that not a stunner? I love that color. Now I know most people don't just have a lip brush laying around. I use them because I'm a makeup artist. But these are literally like, you can get these for like nothing on Amazon. Just look up lip brushes. This is the brand Lux Spire, and you can get you a little pack of 3 or so, I think it is. Or could you buy them they might be singly sold, and they're only like a couple bucks per. But I'm going to just rub this on my lipstick and then fill in closer to the edges with the brush. Now, we definitely are not perfect here. You could even blot this and come back and do another layer if you want. The more layers that you do, the more staying power. But I'm not going to keep layering again because I know this lipstick stays. All right, if you worry about the lipstick getting on your teeth, get you a little tissue. Now I've got like paper towels. Get you a little tissue, put it around your finger like this, and put your finger kind of inside your mouth to where it touches on the roof right here and here. That's going to help remove a lot of the excess lipstick from the insides of your lips so they don't get all over your teeth. Okay, so that's going to help with teeth messiness. Speaking of teeth, all right, the color of our teeth. What happens when we put on brighter lipstick? When it's bright like this, it really tends to make the teeth look whiter, but there's certain shades, like the darker color ones, more like a brown base sometimes. Your teeth might look gross. So it really does depend on your lip colors. Sometimes too, certain shades are going to bring out different colors in your teeth. It's just all about color wheel theory. So like more of the warm tone shades. So that's not what we're wearing. We're wearing the more blue tone, but sometimes when you wear those warmer tone ones, it can make the teeth look a little bit more yellow. So keep that in mind. Get you some good teeth whitener beforehand. Because what happens is it's kind of where it's at on the color wheel. Warm tones that have a little touch of yellow in them or gold in them up against your teeth, it's going to kind of show off any yellow that is in your teeth, so to speak. So, but I have found that these more blue tone ones will actually make the teeth look whiter, in my opinion. Okay, now we can leave the lip like this, or we can add more depth to it if you want. Sometimes if you bring a little lightness or even gloss to the center of the lip, it just kind of gives it more depth. It can also give the appearance of fuller lips too. So if you struggle with very small lips, mature skin lips like me, those are tricks that do make them appear a little bit bigger. Couple different ways you could do that. You can either come in with a lighter color gloss, like heck, at this point, I could even go with like a pink, just for dabbing it like in the very center, not much, but just a little. So I'm gonna do this with my fingers, or you can do it with a brush. Pop a little bit in the centers there, or if you had had a much darker lip liner, it would have kind of created the same idea. I am completely obsessed with the sparkling, shimmering glosses like we got in the Macy's beauty box. So I might even come in with these gold specks. So here is what it looks like on its own, but then I might layer some of this on my red lips. A couple of reasons to use a brush. One is, you know, being a makeup artist, I just automatically have to for sanitary reasons. But for your own personal use, I would do it because when you stick colors back into the gloss container, it mixes into your gloss and changes your color over time. So I always keep my glosses separate. I try to apply them with a brush or my finger. I love that. Adding a little touch of sparkle. I'm only going to add it to kind of like the middle of the lips though, because bringing that light in to the face, it just really like opens and makes the appearance of the lips much fuller. Okay, so it just depends on what you're going for. Now, another tip I have used and talked about on here before is use your concealer for just a tiny little brighter, wider look in the middle of the lips too. This is where you want to be very careful because you could definitely do way too much and get wild. So I will show you, like, this is NARS, my concealer I'm using now, and it is light. I can't read it. 1.25, I think. I'm just going to take like the tiniest little bit and just pop it like right here and here. Okay. No more than that. That's honestly probably too much. And then I kind of dabbed it around a little bit. And now can you see you've got just a little more like lighter in the middle and deeper on the outside. We added just a touch of depth, but not too much. It's almost turning it pink now. So keep that in mind, that it will start changing the actual red color of your lips if you do that. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I am going to take my concealer and clean up any crooked lines. Now keep in mind, I don't have my glasses on, so it's like hard for me to even see if it's crooked or not. But I'm going to take my concealer stick and just dab it onto a very thin brush. Now you can do a different kind of brush than I have, but I like to use my very flat brushes that are like super precise. You could use actually another lipstick, one of those lipstick brushes I just used, something that's really small and precise. You can use an angled brush like the kind you'd use on eyeliner. just find you a very small, precise brush. And we're gonna come in and find any boo-boos. That's a boo-boo right there. And I'm going to touch my concealer right there. At the edge. Honestly, even if you don't have any boo-boos, you still do this because after this is blended a little bit, it's gonna just look even more precise. It's gonna look really sculpted. I'm not gonna leave a client looking like this. I'm gonna blend. I happen to have this tiny little beauty blender, but I will use beauty blenders that are bigger. Sometimes I like the flat side ones because it helps you really get that angle. But I'm gonna use this teeny tiny little baby one and just kind of blend. All right, and then now you just see what a difference that makes. It just really cleans things up. Right, and so here is our nice red lip. Now, obviously, if you want more of a matte lip where you're not so glossy, skip the gloss part. Just do, you know, your cream, get kind of a more matte formula. If you're somebody who doesn't have as many problems with dry, cracked lips and everything, go for it, because the more matte that you go with these red colors, the better. Believe me, it's gonna last longer, it's not gonna smudge, all of that. But if you have mature skin like me, where you got fine lines and wrinkles, you gotta do everything you can to find that nice balance between nice hydrated lips that aren't cracking and showing our age, but then at the same time being longer lasting and not smudging. And so that's kind of what I showed you here because I'm 46. And so I'm kind of demonstrating 46-year-old lips for you guys and what I do when I want to wear a gorgeous red lip at the holidays. All right, guys, this is our finished look. I popped on some lashes and we are party ready. So I hope that that was very helpful for you, and I hope it empowered you to want to wear your red lips this season. I know I'm a little late on this for all the Christmas parties now probably, but we do have New Year's and we have Valentine's on the way. So we will keep wearing the red for months to come and have no shame about it. So anyway, guys, happy holidays to you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of 2024, an amazing 2025, and I will see you guys all in the new year. Bye.